Well, hello, good morning. Where's Simon today? Well, I've been on a course this last week. It's been absolutely brilliant, up in my medic skills and working with some people who train folks for fragile environments, places abroad where people get shot at, blown up, and a bunch of reporters also here from Sky News, would you believe? Great bunch of guys, a lot of fun to be with. Am I on my hollybobs? Well, not really. I'm up in my skills because, as many of you know, I respond in a rural environment when people have accidents, when things go wrong, when people are taken ill. Because, you know, in Wales we're struggling with ambulance response times. That's no criticism of anybody, it's just a fact. That's the way it is. And you reach out and you do what you can to be able to help, I guess, when anybody's in need of that. We live in a bit of a rural community, and it's up to all of us to put our little bit in. Well, this happens to be mine these days. So I've been here in Hereford area with a bunch of people doing all sorts of things, learning skills for rescuing people, finding people, tracking people, outdoor environment. Been working on things like this one was a helicopter crash that had taken place, and one casualty had wandered away from the scene, had a lot going on, looks as if fractured pelvis, and then went into cardiac arrest, and we ended up in this ditch getting covered in muck, just resuscitating that person. And then also getting involved in training in prolonged field care, because obviously if you're waiting a long time for an ambulance in a rural place, you need to be able to keep that person going beyond sort of 2 hours. Very often ambulance waits are a lot longer than that, so we're able to learn in this context here how to operate. This is a little field hospital that had been strung up alongside the Chaplaincy Land Rover. Can you see that there? And we were involved in monitoring people and helping people in all sorts of ways with all sorts of problems arising out of their trauma outside. And so you ask yourself, why is this rural chaplain bloke out here doing this stuff? What possible justification can there be for him not sweating away, studying his Bible in the mornings, visiting the elderly in the afternoons, and running meetings for young people and children in the evenings? Why is he doing this? Well, obviously because there's a need, but what's the biblical justification for spending time and money doing a thing like that? Let me get my phone out, because I want to share with you a particular verse which I think is relevant on the Bible app. If you haven't got the Bible app on your phone, do recommend it very, very highly. It's the Bible app. You can find it wherever you get your apps from, and it's the one that's got a lot of brown and a Bible on it. So what are we going to look at? James chapter 2. James says, James 2:14, "What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone claims to have faith but has no deeds? Can such faith save them?" And the whole point that James is making here is that it's all very well to talk, but there should be fruit from faith. And he goes on and he says, if one of you says to somebody else, "Go in peace, keep warm and well fed," but does nothing about their physical needs, what good is that? Fair question, James. He says, faith by itself, if it's not accompanied by actions, is dead. Pretty blunt, old James, isn't he? But that's the point. And the question for each one of us is this. We are people, we have gifts, talents, personalities, characters. What are we going to do expressing all of that that's going to fulfill a scripture like that? Person who says, "Oh, well, keep warm, keep well fed," does nothing about a person's physical needs. What good is that? And I reckon that's a question. There's a poser there we all need to look at, we all need to be ready to answer, particularly if we're living in rural areas where we need to be, looking out for one another a fair old bit, because we're in resource depleted environments. Well, there you go. There's my super short thought for the day. Hope that's of interest to you. Hit me up in the messages, and if I can be of any help to you, pray for you, help you with something, give me a shout. Thanks for listening.